A new episode of the Book of Boba Fett obviously equals more LEGO Brit custom minifigures. Hello everyone, it's the LEGO Brits here, and who else absolutely loved the 4th episode of the Book of Boba Fett, The Gathering Storm? In my opinion, it absolutely topped the others by a mile. It was so enjoyable to watch. I'm not actually going to spoil it because the custom minifigures featured are characters we already saw in the trailer. So basically, if you haven't seen it, you can imagine these are just based off the trailer. I'm not going to say any more than that because I want everyone to be able to watch it and to make these custom minifigures. But all I will say is that it's an absolutely incredible episode. I definitely recommend it. Here are the 3 custom minifigures that I'm going to be giving a tutorial of how to build. These are 3 alien characters that are featured in the Book of Boba Fett episode 4 and in the trailer. Basically, they are the heads of the different families that control Tatooine. So we have this guy, we have a TransOcean, and we also have a Platoonian Raider. I think that's what they're called. So those are the 3 main families that control Tatooine, and we see them having a meeting with Boba Fett. Obviously, no spoilers whatsoever, but here are the custom minifigures. I'm going to show you how to build them. I oblige. Oh dear, that impression was terrible. But first up, I'm going to be showing you how to build the Platoonian. This guy sits at the head of the table and makes intense eye contact with Boba Fett throughout the whole thing. And anyway, his head was taken from the ATSD Raider set, from one of those Platoonian Raiders. Obviously, it's the actual Platoonian Lego piece. There's nothing better that I could have chosen. At a first glance, you might assume that this custom minifigure is going to be really easy to make. After all, it has got that same colour scheme throughout, and you're going to think, yeah, take one piece for the torso, maybe another for the legs, and one piece for the head. No, this one took such a long time to make. Actually, if you take a look at the torso, the arms, and the hands, all of them came from 3 different minifigures. One thing that is nice though, the hands came from the same person as the head, that Platoonian Raider, so it's going to be relatively simple, but there are so many different elements, so make sure you drop a like because I spent ages designing these custom minifigures. So let's get into the elements I used for the torso. So the torso itself and the legs came from the Grief Karga minifigure from the Razor Crest. That's the first Grief Karga Legos ever made. I did actually use the second one later in the video, so hint hint, stay tuned, but you can see I think that looks really good. Now because Grief Karga didn't have matching arms, I think he had brown arms, I had to take these red arms to match the whole colour scheme from the Imperial Red Guard, and I think it looks absolutely fantastic, really matches how he looks in the Book of Boba. Alright, moving on, let's show you how to build the TransOcean. Unlike the Platoonian, this custom minifigure is actually relatively simple to make. It only requires 2 minifigures, but the minifigures are quite rare. First up is the TransOcean from the Mos Eisley Cantina. That's where I got that head mold and the hands, and the rest of the minifigure is taken from the new Grief Karga, see I used both of them, from the Imperial Armored Marauder. I think it looks really good. Even though that one was the quickest to make, I actually think it might be my favourite, just because I absolutely love how well the Grief Karga torso works. I would have liked that waistcoat in blue, but I suppose you can't have everything when it's purist custom, but I do love that necklace and just all the details. Right, let's get him out of here, and let's look at this Ponda Barber guy that totally isn't Ponda Barber. Somebody please let me know in the comments what the name of this species is. I know there's a proper word, but I just can't think of it. I just know it was Ponda Barber people. But anyway, there were a couple of these guys that attended the meeting that Boba held, and here's my custom minifigure of the main one. Obviously, that head was taken from the one and only one that LEGO's made of that species, and that is the Ponda Barber minifigure from the Mos Eisley Cantina. Absolutely fantastic. Obviously, if you don't have the Mos Eisley, then you're going to be kind of limited, but still, I think it was worth making it to show how accurate it can be. Because you're kind of limited if you don't have the Mos Eisley anyway, I used another piece from it, and that torso is taken from the Dr. Everson minifigure. I think it really well represents how he looks. Obviously, the skin tone might be a little off because he's white and this is an alien, but still, I think it looks pretty decent for those kind of tattered robes. Obviously, the final part of this custom minifigure is the legs, and they're taken from the Rebel from the ATST from Rogue One. Theoretically, you could really use any legs that match that waistcoat as long as they're the same colour, but those are the ones that I went with. Overall, I'm really pleased with how these custom minifigures turned out. I think I was able to replicate those aliens really well, and I'm very pleased with it. Also, guys, I am filming this with COVID. As you can hear, I am getting better, but the amount of times that I had to stop because I've been slurring my words, don't even know if that's a symptom, but still, I just cannot get my words out today, so please do leave a like for that. Hope you have a wonderful day, and please do consider subscribing. Goodbye.